Uh-oh, Cheerios. Hello. Today we're going to talk about how to measure length using centimeters and millimeters and meters. You got some practice today in class, and you're going to have a little bit more time tomorrow to finish up your length lab activities. Make sure anytime you're measuring length in science class, you're always using the metric system. So we're not talking about inches or feet or yards or miles. In here, the metric system is what pretty much the rest of the world uses. All science people use the metric system, but it's based on a meter, and then you're going to be using units like centimeters and millimeters and meters. If you're talking about distances between cities, you're going to be talking about kilometers. So your tool is a meter stick, and you can tell you've got a meter stick if it's 100 centimeters. This one's kind of beat up on the end. Live, you're like, oh, that's a yardstick. Well, not really, because a yardstick's only 36 inches, which this is a little bit longer than that. So make sure that you're always using the side that goes up to 100. Those are your centimeters. This whole stick is 1 meter long. Boop. And then when you zoom in here, okay, each of these numbers is a centimeter. So like this would be 10, and then just past it's 11, 12, 13, and so on and so forth. And then those little itty bitty the tiny lines going in here, these are millimeters. So let me zoom in. There we go. So like in 1 centimeter, so this would be 10, this would be where 11 is. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5's in the middle, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So there are 10 millimeters per centimeter. Okay, and then anytime you measure length of anything, you always want to start with. Let me get a different meter stick because that one's beat up. Always start at 0, and these meter sticks are kind of older. This one's a brand new one. It protected the end a little bit. So if you start at 0, line it up at the end at 0, and then when you measure the length, you look and see, first of all, what 2 whole numbers it's between. So this is between 18 and 19 centimeters. And then you just count how many little lines past the 18 it'd be. So I know that it's not quite to 19. Back it up. I was off a little bit. And then I know that 18.5 is in the middle, 18.6, 18.7, 18.8. So this would be 18.8 centimeters long. It's a lot easier than using fractions. Always use decimals. Just real simply, you just count how many lines past your number it is, and it's a lot easier. You don't need to worry about sixteenths or halves or eighths or anything like that, or 30 seconds like you would with the English system or the customary. With the metric system, it's all based on the number 10, so it's super simple. Just line up and then count how many lines passed, and that's it. Some of you are like, why did you show us a box of Cheerios at the beginning of the video? Because we're going to measure it real quick. So if I'm measuring the length, the height of this box, again, we measure it, we line it up with 0, I'll put it on the ground. So I line it up at the edge with 0, and then coming down here, if I go to the part where it's not kind of flopped out, I know that it's, let's go with the edge of the box. So this guy, right, let's go there. So it'd be 32.2 centimeters. And if I wanted to see what that was in millimeters, I know that there are 10 millimeters per centimeter. So if I just multiply that number by 10, it'd give me how many millimeters that'd be. So 32.2 centimeters would be equal to 322 millimeters. We got an announcement. We're all clear on the lockout. Alright, we are going to pause here. You're going to get a lot of practice with this over the next couple days. Obviously, if you can't tell, the theme for this week is measurement. We're measuring mass, we're measuring length, we're measuring volume. Make sure if you need some help, get some practice, let me know, and we'll get you taken care of. Have a good one. Bye.